The 1980s gave us neon, big hair, and some absolutely wild inventions. But here's the thing. Some of the most popular products from that decade are now completely illegal. We're talking backyard toys that killed kids, hair dryers that gave people cancer, and everyday sprays that literally tore a hole in the sky. Stick around, because number 4 involves something 90% of households used daily. Number 1. Lawn darts. Also known as jarts, giant metal spears marketed as a family game. These things were absolutely everywhere in the 70s and 80s. Picture a backyard barbecue, burgers on the grill, families tossing foot-long darts with weighted metal tips toward plastic ring targets on the lawn. Sold at every sporting goods store in America. Seemed like harmless summer fun. Here's the problem. Those darts weighed half a pound with 4-inch steel points. They could penetrate a human skull on impact. Between 1978 and 1988, the CPSC documented 6,100 emergency room injuries. 81% of victims were under 15. 3 children died, including 7-year-old Michelle Snow, whose skull was pierced in her own backyard in April 1987. Michelle's father, David, launched an 18-month campaign. He made 7 trips to Washington, testified before Congress, finally convinced the CPSC to act. They banned lawn darts in December 1988, the week before Christmas. Canada followed in 1989. They're still completely illegal today. eBay pulls the listings immediately. A family game. That's what the packaging said. It took a grieving father fighting the federal government for 18 months before anyone would ban metal spears being thrown by children. Number 2. 3-wheeled ATVs. Honda called them ATCS, and they were everywhere in the 80s. Honda introduced the ATC 90 in 1970, but they exploded in popularity throughout the 80s. Balloon tires, no suspension, cheap and simple. Originally marketed toward kids and teenagers. Farmers used them. Families bought them. They became symbols of off-road freedom, tearing through trails and dunes across America. Here's the physics problem. 3 wheels are inherently unstable. Riders needed to shift their body weight constantly just to prevent rollovers. Kids were too light to counterbalance. Between 1983 and 1988, over 300,000 injuries and nearly 1,000 deaths. 7,000 people hurt every month. Most victims were children on machines way too big for them. In April 1988, the CPSC issued a consent decree naming Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Polaris. Immediate stop sale on all 3-wheelers. Manufacturers funded a $100 million safety campaign. The ban was supposed to last 10 years, but Congress made it permanent in 2008. You still can't legally manufacture or import one. The solution was obvious: add a 4th wheel. But it took nearly 1,000 deaths before anyone admitted that selling unstable vehicles to children might not be the greatest idea. Number 3. CFC aerosol sprays. Every single can of hairspray in the 80s was punching a hole in the atmosphere. Chlorofluorocarbons had been used as propellants since the 1930s. By the 80s, they were in everything: hairsprays, deodorants, air fresheners, cleaning products. The average American household had 30 to 40 spray cans, essential for that iconic big hair. Seemed completely harmless. Here's what nobody understood. CFCs float to the stratosphere, where UV light releases chlorine atoms. A single molecule destroys 100,000 ozone molecules. In 1985, scientists discovered an ozone hole over Antarctica, the size of the United States. Increased UV radiation causes skin cancer, cataracts, crop damage. Every spray made it worse. The United States banned CFC aerosols in 1978, effective in 1979. Then came the Montreal Protocol in 1987, the first universally ratified UN treaty in history. Complete production phase-out by 1996 in developed countries. It's now illegal to manufacture or import CFC products anywhere on Earth. The ozone layer is slowly recovering. Every spray of Aqua Net in the 80s was tearing a hole in the sky. But here's the thing, we actually fixed this one, identified a global threat and banned it with hairspray regulations. Number 4, asbestos hair dryers. Here's the terrifying part. 90% of hair dryer manufacturers used this stuff. Asbestos was used as heat shield insulation right next to the heating element. Major brands like Conair, General Electric, Gillette, Norelco, all of them. The CPSC estimated 5 million asbestos-containing dryers were in use. Home bathrooms, professional salons, everywhere. Nobody thought twice about it. When you turned one on, asbestos fibers blew directly into the air. You breathed them into your lungs. A 1979 study found fiber levels exceeding OSHA limits. One researcher said concentrations exceeded the highest measured in 8 years of surveillance. Asbestos causes mesothelioma and lung cancer, diseases that can take 50 years to develop. In 1979, the CPSC ordered 9 major manufacturers to provide information. Voluntary recalls followed from GE, Gillette, and others. By 1980, 500,000 dryers were recalled. Asbestos in consumer products is now banned or heavily restricted. A mesothelioma registry in northern Italy documented 30 cases in former hairdressers from 2000 to 2009. People held these things inches from their faces, felt the warm air blow their hair back. They had no idea they were breathing in a carcinogen every single morning. Number 5. Leaded gasoline. Every car on the road in the early 80s was essentially a poison machine on wheels. Tetraethyl lead had been added to gasoline since the 1920s to prevent engine knock. Worked brilliantly. Engines ran smoother, lasted longer. Standard fuel at every gas station through the early 80s. Kids grew up smelling leaded exhaust like it was normal, just part of everyday American life. Lead is a potent neurotoxin. Exhaust contaminated air, soil, and dust nationwide. Children were especially vulnerable. Lead damages developing brains. Blood lead levels in American children were dramatically elevated, linked to lower IQ, behavioral problems, increased crime rates. No safe level of lead exposure exists. We poisoned billions of people worldwide over decades. The EPA began phasing it out in the 70s. The US banned leaded gasoline for road vehicles in 1996. The UN announced complete global elimination in August 2021. Selling leaded gas for standard cars is now illegal worldwide. Blood lead levels dropped over 75% after the ban. Researchers estimate leaded gas lowered the collective IQ of entire generations. Every time someone filled up their tank, they were making everyone a little bit dumber, including themselves. Number 6. Slap bracelets. Invented by a high school shop teacher in 1983, banned by schools nationwide. Stuart Anders was a Wisconsin teacher playing with steel ribbons when the idea hit. Flexible stainless steel covered in colorful fabric. Slap it on your wrist, and it snaps into place. Instantly addictive. By 1990, they were everywhere. The New York Times called them a Venetian blind with an attitude. Then the knockoffs came. 10 to 15 million counterfeit versions from Taiwan used cheap carbon steel and flimsy fabric. The metal would break through the covering. Exposed edges sliced children's skin. A 4-year-old in Connecticut cut her finger. A student in New York needed 3 stitches. Injuries were reported across the country. Connecticut recalled the knockoffs. Walgreens pulled them from 16 stores. Schools banned them. Colonial and Siwanoy in New York. Lehigh Township Elementary in Pennsylvania. The CPSC issued warnings to parents. Recalls continued for decades. In 2012, nearly 90,000 Toysmith bracelets recalled. In 2018, another 22,000 from Target. A simple piece of fabric-covered steel. That's all it was, but schools treated them like contraband. The inventor made millions before anyone realized they were slicing kids' wrists open. So there you have it, 6 inventions from the 80s that seemed totally normal at the time but are now illegal, recalled or banned. Every single one of these regulations exists because people got hurt. Kids died playing backyard games. Workers developed cancer from beauty products. We literally tore a hole in the sky with hairspray. The 80s were wild, but at least we learned something. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and drop a comment, telling me which one shocked you the most.